Hello YouTube, this is John Deere's and I'm back. I've had some medical problems for the last few months and just haven't felt up to making any videos. So I'm going to be adding quite a few videos here in the near future. I've got a friend of mine who I sold him a 318 with a loader, and he ended up in he's a retired jet engine mechanic for Delta Airlines, and he knows a lot about jet engines, but not too much about garden tractor engines. So between the two of us, we're working together. He's my best friend now. He also is having medical problems, and what I'm going to be doing is helping him. He's got a number of tractors that we want to get running so he can sell. He's got a 317, a couple of 318s, a 330, and a 345 that needs some work. He also has an X740, which after he saw my X740, he said, that's a tractor I want. So there may be a few videos coming on that also. So what I'm going to begin with here is the 317 had sat for like 3 or 4 years. We went to start it, and the starter would turn it over, and then it would just stop. You let it set, turn it over, and it's like, okay, it's a starter, it's a battery. I said, well, I'm going to take the plugs out. And when I took the plugs out, I found out there was oil in the cylinders. I mean, a lot of oil. And you cannot compress oil. The engine is designed to compress air, not oil. And what it was doing, it was bucking up against that. So we drained the cylinders. Whoever had this tractor, and Ben might have added it too, but they put a lot of extra oil. The oil was way over full. And that's where if you have a tractor, don't overfill it. There's a mark on there, and the reason there's a mark on there is you want to go beyond that. You don't want to overfill it. So what I'm going to be doing is starting on this 317 on the carburetor. We may have a fuel pump problem and some other things. I love the 317. That was the first garden tractor that I bought. I bought a used one from a dealer where I worked, and it was a really good tractor. There's a lot of problems with 317s because of the Kohler engine was originally used in the 317. There was a Series 1 and a Series 2, and there were some problems with it where the engine, it was a lubrication problem basically. And, you know, it'd throw a rod out the side. They replaced them with the Onan engine. It's the B43G Onan, and that's a good engine. But this is going to be going through the 317 with the Kohler engine, and where I'm going to start is with the carburetor. Okay, the engine in the tractor would not start unless we put some carburetor cleaner down in the throat of the carburetor, and then it would run for 2 seconds. So that's an indication there's a fuel problem, which we did check the fuel pump, and we couldn't get the fuel pump, you know, cranking the engine. It's a mechanical fuel pump. We didn't get any fuel out of there. So I just says, well, I'm going to go ahead and take the carburetor out and see what's wrong with it. Well, the carburetor did have the check valve stuck, and there's zero gas in the carburetor. So right there, that was a clue that, well, the check valve is stuck, so we need to replace that. I went online, and John Deere does have a kit. It's an AM1000019, and to my amazement, that was like $17. I would have expected closer to $50 since this tractor is so old. But the thing is, it is Kohler. Kohler's a very popular engine. So if you couldn't get it from John Deere, you could go elsewhere and, you know, get the kit also. What I'm going to be doing is, in the kit, what I did receive is this gasket here, which is going to be for the bowl of the carburetor. Okay, and this is actually going to go in the groove here on the carburetor. and then it has a float valve, and this is the seat for the float valve. I'll be putting that in, and then it's got a couple of gaskets, and they also give you this pin for where the float is going to mount. And when you take your float out, I took this carburetor apart. I already took the bowl off. It's pretty simple. It's always easy to take something apart. The problem is when you go to put something back. Okay, the float, if you shake it and you can feel like there's some liquid in there, that means it's probably leaking. So this one looks good. So I'm just going to go with that. To remove the carburetor, there are 2 bolts here that you're going to have to remove. Or they're actually studs, and there is a nut here. And they're in a very tight area, and it's kind of difficult. You can't get a box end wrench on it. You can't get a socket on it. An open end wrench, and I believe it was like a 1/2 inch, is what I used there. You need to disconnect the throttle and the choke, and there are going to be 2 little levers that you're going to want to remove, and this is where the throttle would be connecting, and this here is the choke. So they're pretty simple. You take, what I did is I took these bolts off, loosened up the throttle and the choke linkage, and was able to wiggle those off of there. Okay, on the end here, you could remove this. This is like the air intake. This is a stud here. You could remove that, but you don't need to. Just leave that on there. So what I've got here is basically got it down to just the bare carburetor, and I'm going to go now and clean it. And I'm going to be adding then the parts to rebuild it. Okay, on the top of the carburetor, there's a screw with a spring. On the side here, there's a screw with a spring. And there's also another screw down here. Okay, this screw is going to be used just to set your throttle. And this is the idle adjustment for the throttle. So you get the engine set to about where you want it. If you want a little more, you increase this. And all you're doing here is just moving this little lever. The screw on the top, this is the main jet, and it's a needle valve. And the one on the side, this is for idle. So you've got these 2, and you want to remove them. So that's not hard to do at all. You just take them out. The problem is when you go to put them back together, where do you set them? What I do is I always turn this in all the way to where it stops, and then count the number of turns as you're doing that. Then I take it out. Here and here, I take a carburetor cleaner jet, and I stick that down in there and blow those good. And then when you go to put it back, what you do is you just put this back. Remember the number of turns you had when you turned it down, and all you do is turn it out that number of turns. This isn't going to be perfect, but it should be close enough to get you to where the engine will run. So that's just something that, the engine, if you look at the technical manual, they'll tell you like this is probably 2 1/4 turns. Well, I had a technical manual, and I sold a tractor and it went with it, so that was stupid. I should have held on to it. Basically, these old carburetors like this are so simple, I just love working on them. It's something that the newer ones are a lot more complicated and, a little difficult to work on. Next, I'm going to replace the existing check valve seat, and what I'm using here is a 3/8 inch nut driver. It's actually a very tight connection in there, and here you can see there is a washer on this. Probably I wouldn't even need to replace the seat. Looks really pretty good in there, but I still am going to go ahead. Since they gave me one, I'm going to use it. They also gave me a washer to use for this, and so I'm going to put that on there. And I already blew this out. Blowing through this is actually the inlet to the carburetor, and this is where the float valve is going to allow fuel to flow into the carburetor, and there's going to be a little check valve is all this is. So what I'm going to do is put this back in and then start reassembling the carburetor. Okay, the main jet for the carburetor is in here, and what you're going to do is you'll look down in there and you'll see this slot here, and you just take a screwdriver and go in there, and this is your carburetor jet. And this is where air is going to be and gas mixed in here. And what you want to do is take your carburetor cleaner and spray it in here. Make sure all these holes, you can see daylight through them. And this is where if your engine is running rough and it's just not running good, more than likely all you need to do is take this jet out. So to put it back in, you're going to just drop it in there, and you want to really wash this out good with carburetor cleaner in here. In the very bottom, you can actually see where that needle for the idle or the engine adjustment, the load valve, is actually going to be going into here. So this is where you want to make sure you spend some time, clean that good, and it's just a matter of taking this screwdriver and running it back down in there. When you get it down in there, you want to just get it tight. You don't have to over tighten it, because that is a brass part there, and if you're not careful, you're going to strip it a little bit. So I've got the new valve seat installed here for the float valve, and next what I'm going to do is they give you this little washer here, or gasket, and this is going to go down in the groove on the carburetor. And what I'm going to do is, you don't have to do it, but I'm going to put just a little of my sealant in there, and what I'm trying to do is just get it to hold that in there so it doesn't come out when I'm trying to reinstall the bowl. This is where that's going to be creating the seal here. So I'm going to put just a little gasket maker on there, and like I say, it's just to hold it in place as I reassemble it. Next, I'm going to install the check valve and the float. And the check valve, just drop it in here. The float, what I'm going to do is you put this pin, and they do give you a new pin in the kit. You're going to put this in here, put the pin in, not like that. And this is what it looks like when you get this pin in here. The float should move in the center here like this and be very free. If it doesn't just drop, there's something that is not aligned correctly. So what's going to happen is when it drops the float, fuel is going to flow into the carburetor. As it fills up, this is going to stop the flow with this check valve. So this is about to the point where I'm ready to put the cover back on the bottom. This is what I took off the carburetor. This is the gasket that goes on the side of the frame here, and it's all basically just wrinkled and everything. So the next thing you do is you're going to take this and drop this on around your I was able to get this gasket. I thought I was going to have to take the float off, but There's two notches here where you want to get it into the two notches of the check valve mounting here. And what I'll be doing next is just taking this cover and putting it on here to make the seal. They give you another gasket here where you're going to put this on the bottom of the carburetor bowl. And I'm going to, I think there's one there now. I need to take it off before I try to put another one on. There was a washer on here and I did get a new one. This is actually more like a gasket. So now all I need to do is take the bowl, put it on here, and I've got the seal in place. And then I'm just going to tighten this down, not too tight, just basically, get it to where it's holding the bowl. And I'm going to just use a light amount of pressure. I am going to put a wrench on there and just snug it up. Basically, the carburetor is ready to be installed. So I will have another video where I'm going to install this on the tractor, and we're going to be going through, we're not getting fuel to the existing fuel pump, and we might have a problem there. If the fuel pump isn't working, I'm going to put, I already got an electric one that I'm going to put on here, and that'll eliminate that problem altogether. But right now, this carburetor is ready to be installed. And from there, I'll also go through, when I put this on there, and show you how to adjust the needle valves here. This is basically a load valve, and this is an idle valve here, air valve. So it's just going to be a matter of tweaking it a little bit, but that'll be coming in the future. I did upgrade my camera, and I've got a microphone on it, so my quality of the video should be better, and hopefully the audio. So there will be quite a few more videos coming out in the near future. Just a matter of, it's getting a little cold now and my shop isn't heated, so I'll do this whenever I can. And thank you for subscribing. The only reason I do this is I know a lot of things and I've got information I'm trying to pass on to other people. And if you like the video, like it. That just tells me I should keep doing this. If nobody likes what I'm doing, well then why am I doing it? So please like my video and subscribe. If you subscribe, if you're a subscriber, I will answer your questions. So if you have questions, you can go to other forums, online forums, which I'm a member of all of them, on John Deere equipment. And I used to be a John Deere tech for 10 years. I grew up on a farm and I'm a pretty good mechanic. So that'll be something that, if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask me questions. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the future. This is John Deere signing off.